Warning, 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 warning. This is a emergency broadcast. Code Red, Code Red, Code Red, here we are. Pick up your iPads, your cell phones, and have me and listen to Uncle the Podcast. Watch out. If you're sitting down for this, or if you're standing up, you better get ready for this, because it's gonna hit the eardrums. Uncle the Podcast.
You are listening to Uncle the Podcast. My name is Aaron. I'm the nephew-in-law. Here with me is the star of the show, Uncle.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are doing a recording for Friday, for people can listen to what I'm going to say today. It's a sports day.
Yeah, Uncle, we're pre-recording, so we are not live.
Oh, we're not
Just
live.
so people know, we're not live on Ocelli.com now, as usual. So if you want to call into the show, won't be able to this week, but I believe the live show should be back next week. So
Next week, depending on his schedule, of course.
yeah. So do join the chat room at Ocelli.com anyway. The show will be premiering Friday night.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, business as usual, other than this is just a pre-recorded show that we did the day before. That's it.
Right.
Onward,
This is
Uncle.
Before we can do this, have some people can listen to this. But this week, I am going to talk about the 4 remaining teams left in the playoff.
Oh, okay. We're talking about the NFL.
The NFL playoff.
Okay, what's going on?
We have the Titans.
Okay.
We have the Chiefs.
Okay.
We have the
San Francisco.
San Francisco and the Packers.
Okay.
Now they're the 4 teams that are left.
All right. What?
For Chuck's interview, if he listens to it, this is what's happening.
Okay, now he knows.
He
Our
knows.
audience knows.
Audience know.
Now everybody knows. Is that
Everybody
all
knows.
we need to know? Just that it's those 4 teams? Is there
Those
anything-
4 teams are left, and out of those, 2 be left this week.
And then those
And
2
that-
teams that are left.
Goes to Super Bowl.
Correct.
To
So-
Miami.
So what is it? On Sunday?
It's a Sunday game because it was Saturday and Sunday because it was so many teams.
Yeah. But-
Since it's dropped down to 4,
yeah.
it can make it to Sunday.
That's just 2 games.
Just 2 games. Right.
And
it
so
could go
these
to
are
Sunday.
the AFC and NFC championship games. Is that the idea?
Correct.
Okay. And who's in the AFC championship? Who are those 2 teams?
The Chiefs and the Titans.
Chiefs and Titans. Okay.
I warn people, watch out for Henry.
Watch out. Okay.
He
Derrick
is
Henry.
a horse.
He's the running back for the Tennessee Titans, right?
Right.
Okay.
I'm scared of him. I'm scared of that team.
So he's the reason they made it as far as they have,
Yeah.
because they kind of came out of nowhere. Nobody expected them to make it this far.
Him and, of course, the quarterback. But now that quarterback used to be a Dolphin.
Yeah,
and now
Tannehill.
Tannehill. I talked to, while we're in that subject, I heard Dan Marino the other day.
He was talking.
He was talking.
Press conference?
Press conference to those guys on the show.
What did he say?
He said he hopes that Titans can make it because of being in Miami.
Oh, so he's supporting Tannehill after he's left Miami? Is that the idea?
I think so.
Because he likes him?
He likes him, and
Okay.
and I can see that reason.
All right, that's cool. All right,
Yeah.
good for them. All right, that's a lot of goodwill
Yeah.
in the NFL. No hard feelings or anything like that. That's nice.
But
Okay, so it will be the AFC Championship between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tennessee Titans. So that's that.
Correct.
Anything else on that game we need to know?
no,
Okay, that's that.
That's
Then NFC Championship game is between
the 49ers
Okay.
and the Packers,
49ers
where
and
they
Packers.
whipped them the first series.
Who?
The 49ers whipped
Oh.
the Packers
Oh, earlier in the season?
early in the season.
Oh, okay.
Was it the 12th week? No.
I don't know.
The 16th week, the 6th week.
So we'll see if the
Somewhere
same
there.
thing happens again. If so,
If so, we know
Yeah.
what happens.
San Francisco's been a good team all year, so nobody's surprised
they're
that
the
they're
number
here.
one. They're the number 1 defense. So
Okay, so they're doing good. They're riding high.
I had one off of who was going
Oh, you mean to this round? You guessed everybody except for one team?
for this round for one team.
What was the team you thought would be here but isn't?
The Ravens.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Because I really didn't think how the Titans would react.
That's the surprise of the Titans, yeah.
That was the surprise of my pick.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was for that, I would have to be going on right. It would be perfect, well, I said it would be.
Yeah.
But that's what happened.
Yeah, they were good all year.
Yeah.
They had
they fell asleep.
They had Lamar Jackson, right?
Yeah,
the quarterback, and he was the big news for the year. He was one of the big players that popped up out of nowhere, seemingly. And
Right.
yeah. So okay, but yeah, they're out of it. No more Baltimore. We've got Tennessee now, and then
Tennessee, right.
okay. So who do you expect to win the championship games and go to the Super Bowl? Then how about that Super Bowl picks?
Well, I'm taking a long shot with the Titans.
Okay.
So it would be the Titans if they play the way they've been playing.
Okay, Titans.
And the 49ers.
And 49ers. Okay, that's who you think is going to make it. Okay.
I believe that's who make it.
Wow, interesting. Who would have known? Who would have seen this coming?
That's my prediction now because I know.
Okay, that's your Super Bowl prediction. 2020.
Now, if I'm wrong, I don't know.
The San Francisco 49ers versus the Tennessee Titans. February
2nd. The February 2nd, the Super Bowl is
2020.
Correct.
Be there. Okay, there you go. So now we know what the Super Bowl will be. Okay, cool.
Right. There you go.
So that's football news then. I guess that's
the football news.
Okay, sounds good. I like it.
Right. Now what you want to say?
I had an idea that we could talk about here because I figured we could do another movie review.
Oh.
Haven't done one of them in a little bit, and we just watched a big movie. You know what movie I'm talking about that we both watched, Uncle?
Yeah, well, that's true. We have seen a movie. It was the hippie movie.
The hippie movie.
Yeah.
Which was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the new Quentin Tarantino movie from this past year.
Right. We saw that movie. We can review that right now.
While Uncle eats an orange and reviews a movie at the same time.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, here we are. We had a review on that movie. Was very weird.
Okay, you think it's a weird movie, yeah.
It was crazy.
Uncle, it's Oscar nominated.
That was?
Yeah, it's awards season now, of course. So this movie is being nominated to win. I don't know what nominations it's had. I want to say Best Picture it's in the running for.
It looks like it Best Picture.
I think it is.
But it doesn't beat one team, one that I've known of.
What's that?
It's been a long time coming.
Oh, yeah?
But it ain't ever going to beat it. But it's close to it.
You're saying Once Upon a Time in Hollywood won't beat this other movie?
This other movie that...
Which other movie?
It was... how did it go?
Joker?
No, not the Joker.
That's been nominated for a lot.
Yeah.
Some other movie?
Another movie.
1917, the war movie?
Yeah, the war movie.
Okay, that's being nominated
That's
too.
being nominated.
Okay, there you go.
I've seen all them movies, by the way.
Okay, you've seen a lot. You've seen more of these than I have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we both saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood the other night. Uncle, do you know Quentin Tarantino, the director of this? Do you know of him? You remember his old stuff?
I heard his name mentioned. He was in the Mob. If I'm not mistaken.
The Mob?
Sounds like he was in the Mob before. The name is familiar.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino. He's a famous director. He had movies before this, but his first huge box office success was Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
Was
it with a Pope? Two Popes?
No, not Two Popes. That was another movie from this year.
Yeah.
This is back in the 90s. Quentin Tarantino kind of bursting on the scene. His first real big movie was Pulp Fiction.
Oh.
It had John Travolta and Uma Thurman were the main characters. And then Samuel L. Jackson had a very memorable performance in that. They have that. There's that part where Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson are these two hitmen, and they wear these suits. They're wearing the black and the white suits like the Blues Brothers, right?
Oh yeah.
Tarantino loves that look. So they're going around, they're killing people, and they're like have this funny dialogue between each other. And there's a scene where I forget which one. I think Samuel L. Jackson. No, they're talking to each other. Anyway, they talk about a double with cheese or whatever, double cheeseburger. How in England it's called a Royale with cheese.
Oh, wow.
You remember that scene? The Royale with cheese scene?
Yeah. They were walking around wanting to eat.
Yeah.
And exactly what? Yeah.
Yeah, they're eating a burger and they're talking about it.
That's right. And they were talking, and by the time they're talking, they're eating.
Yeah.
You know how that goes when you eat something.
You gotta say something.
You gotta say something.
Like how
something like that.
Like how you're eating an orange now and you're talking about a movie. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's okay.
What they're talking about half the time when they're eating, is going while they're eating.
That's a Quentin Tarantino movie. I'm trying to think of what other Quentin Tarantino movies you might know. He had this one about Nazis a few years back that I don't remember if you saw it, but you would have liked that one. I can't even remember the title of that movie at the moment, but I remember that was actually that was a good movie. That was good.
Well,
so
I would have jumped on that if I'd have known it.
He's an interesting director. He certainly has his own style.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember Django Unchained.
Wait, yes, I heard about that.
Remember that?
Django and Chain, they were chaining themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's just a couple years back now. It's about the slave who kind of breaks out and like he busts out and there's all sorts of things going on around that. That was a good movie too.
Yeah.
Django Unchained, yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
So that's one of his more recent movies. And now we have his new one from 2019 being nominated this year, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Uncle, what happened in this movie?
What happened was everybody had a party, and they all went crazy. Of course, it was a pool party, I believe.
At the Playboy Mansion. That was a
Playboy Mansion. Oh, there they are.
That was a scene.
We were watching this Playboy Mansion. Of course, me trying to figure out this Playboy Mansion thing. Thought there was something else going to happen.
Yeah.
But that's my thing. But they're all talking, yap. But there is one thing that I can't get to.
What?
Why does your wife talk through the movies?
I
would like
to
hear.
Was she talking?
Oh, yes. Wow, a minute. Yep. She better talk about me.
Was she talking?
Oh, man, I couldn't even. She was going yapping. You were yapping.
was
Everybody's
I?
yapping. Everybody's saying, "Oh yeah. You don't want to go to the movies with her, please.
Okay.
You want to go because
right,
can you understand the movie? I didn't say anything that time.
Uncle, there were so many things going on. There's a lot to talk about.
Right, but don't say it after the movie, please, because we were listening to the movie.
As I recall, during this scene at the mansion, what my wife and I were probably talking about were the people in that scene. They had like Michelle Phillips and Mama Cass from the Mamas and the Papas.
Oh,
there,
I remember them. They were there. They were there, yeah.
And there were some other like celebrities that they weren't people playing those celebrities at the party in that scene.
Well, you could talk about it, fine, but do it after the show. Talk to yourself.
Well, apologies, Uncle. I mean to ruin the experience there for you.
Well, that I was trying to listen. Yes, I was trying to listen to it.
Also at that party, prominently and a real focal point of the scene and throughout the movie was Sharon Tate. Was at this party and again definitely a focal point in the scene. Everybody's kind of like watching her. She's sitting there dancing, having a good time, kind of like oblivious to the world and just enjoying herself, living the Hollywood lifestyle. But everybody's like kind of talking about her, how she's with Roman Polanski now and all of this. So
they're actually changing scenes with people.
Pretty much.
Man and woman changing scenes. That's mainly what it was about.
It was a segue of sorts.
Segue, yeah.
Yeah. It was just setting some things up. It was expositional scene.
Right.
Yeah, so it was cool. That was a fun scene. What else do you remember from the movie, Uncle?
They were having snacks.
Mm-hmm.
People were listening to TVs.
Yeah.
Popping on music. The music was going.
Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt.
Pitt was in it.
It's kind of like a buddy comedy almost.
This was what happening. Yeah, right. Comedy with him
Mm-hmm.
He went and he drove his car.
Yeah, Brad Pitt was driving around DiCaprio. Brad Pitt was a stuntman.
Stuntman.
Who had worked with DiCaprio, who was
Right.
like a lead actor on a TV show.
Stuntman. Oh.
So he was a stuntman, but he was also a personal assistant to Leonardo DiCaprio's character.
Correct. And he was talking, he said one day, he said, well, I'm doing this. You can do what you want to do today. But now, this is the part that I have to talk about.
Okay.
When he went walking around, or driving around to this...
Brad Pitt? Brad Pitt driving the Cadillac around, yeah.
Driving around. He wanted to talk to this, and he saw this girl.
Yes, a young girl walking in the streets.
A young girl walking in the street.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, which way? He was going different
She's
direction.
walking with a group of other young women through the street, and you
Right.
know, what is this group? They look like hippies.
Yeah,
It's
and then he spots them, and said, "Well, he was going the right way the first and the second time, so he went on the way, took him on the ride, and went to this place."
Yeah, they went to a place,
and
you're talking about when they go to the Spawn Movie Ranch.
Yeah, Spot Movie Ranch. Yeah. And this is what's going on.
Yeah, so Brad Pitt makes his way there, led by this girl. He had previously, years ago, worked on filming that TV show with Leonardo DiCaprio. They would film
at that
the Western
spot.
TV show at that location.
At that location.
So now the ranch people were this hippie commune of sorts was living there.
Was living there, and they were saying, "Where's so and so?"
The owner of the land.
The owner of the land.
Yeah, George Spahn or whatever.
And then all the girls who they were in there listening to Cho kept saying, the leader said, "Where's he going now? Where's he going now?
Yeah.
Is he coming this way? Is he coming this way?"
They're watching him.
Oh, watching him. And then so...
Suspicious.
They were suspicious. All those were suspicious. So wound up, he wanted to find the owner of the place. I'm going straight to the point.
Sure, go to it.
And then when he says, "Where's so and so?" and he said, I don't know. When he's walking, he says, "He coming this now? He coming this way? Everybody get out of here!" So
Brad Pitt finally walks up to the little cabin. Yeah,
up to the cabin, and then the girl answers the phone. Where's what's his name?
Yeah, George or whatever. George, the guy who owns the property. George Spahn, I think was his name.
He's sleeping right now.
Yeah.
Sleeping. Oh, yeah, boy. He got in and start going back. And then he comes, "All right, let me in." He gets in there. And he said, "I told you, he's sleeping now. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
I'm going to go find for myself." So he goes into the room, and they have a conversation.
Yeah, he finds the guy. The guy is indeed in there.
I thought for the minute there, he was passed away. The way they were talking.
He wasn't even there. Yeah.
He wasn't there. So,
but he was.
And so he says, "George, wake up. George, wake up." So he goes on, oh, how you doing? "Oh, you remember me? Who are you?"
He doesn't remember.
He don't even remember a thing. And there he is talking about that back and forth.
He's blind now. He can't
see. Can't tell what he's looking at.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what happens in the show.
Yep.
And then when they finish talking, they go back out. And then the tire's busted.
Yeah.
And he says, "That's not my car."
Yeah. Somebody.
So he goes after the guy.
Yeah.
Beats him up.
Yeah.
And
makes him put the spare
the spare on.
Uh-huh.
And then he says, the lady said, "Go get so and so." So he comes in with the other guy walking around with the horse. Coming down with the horse coming down.
Tex character.
Tex character. Yeah. He come in with the horse, running down the horse. By the time he got there, the job was done and he took off.
Mm-hmm.
But down to remember now that we hunt him come back again. So at the end of the show,
the Tex character does make a comeback. He comes back. This commune and the characters on it.
Right.
These young people at the ranch or whatever. They do return, and they
do return, mm-hmm. and everything goes bananas.
Yeah,
after all that,
it's interesting. The movie, I really like the movie, and I like what I like what Quentin Tarantino did. I mean, of course, this movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's a period piece about Hollywood, and it's a quasi-historical account of real events, but it's a fictionalized version of real events. And the way it's fictionalized, I find is interesting. Like I feel like I understand what he's getting at. You know what I mean? Like so he's making commentary on Hollywood and on movies and all that.
In the meantime, with all this going on, constantly taking smokes. They're like puffing up a smokes every 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
And what's on? This guy's going to have a heart attack with the smoking. I was always saying myself.
That's another thing, too, like, because back in that time period in the 60s, everybody was smoking on screen, too. So, Quentin Tarantino knows this, and he's playing. So, every time he does a film, like, he's a cinephile to the extreme.
Oh, yeah, big time.
He's super into movies himself.
He's constantly smoking away. Mm-hmm. And Pitt was having a cigarette every 5-10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
The other guy was doing the same.
Yeah.
I mean, they were constantly, and then they had a drink. On top of that, having a drink after a smoke. That's not a mixture.
DiCaprio's character... So he did that Western TV show. And
then
he tried to pursue a movie career, which wasn't so successful. So then he goes and gets work with an Italian director and starts working on these spaghetti westerns, which are just westerns made, produced out of the country of Italy, which is interesting. And you can tell Quentin Tarantino has probably seen every spaghetti western ever made like at least 3 times.
Oh yeah,
you know, I mean, that's what kind of guy Quentin Tarantino is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But then he had talked to somebody, got to his attention, and wanted to do a little different.
Oh yeah.
He kept telling to him, "Oh, we got to do this a little different.
Oh yeah,
do this a little different." Oh, here they are talking about.
Oh, you're talking about DiCaprio acting.
Acting.
Yeah,
the acting part. The acting part is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So. It's an interesting. I think the characters of DiCaprio, the lead actor, and the character of Brad Pitt, the stuntman, are interesting characters.
I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, I think they're pretty cool characters. I like them. And I think that Tarantino's again making commentary on Hollywood and on movie making through those characters too.
Right.
And I think there's also just he's goofing on California a bit as well in this movie.
Oh yeah, big time on California thing. By the time he turned around, he was talking about, that's about the California.
Oh, yeah.
And all this kind of stuff going on back and forth.
So yeah, it's history in part. It's like it's film history. There's a segment in it where I mean it's almost like a little class, a miniature class on again spaghetti westerns. He gets into like all.
That's what it was, a spaghetti western.
Yeah, like Quentin Tarantino can't help himself.
I couldn't tell what it kind of was. I was trying to understand what it was.
Yeah, you've heard of spaghetti westerns, right, Uncle? I know you've seen quite a few yourself.
Oh, yeah. I've seen. There's actually still watching the Schafferman.
What's that?
The Rifleman.
The Rifleman.
That's still on the Me TV.
I'm not sure. That might be a spaghetti western. You know what
it
I know?
Then I did see that.
You know what one I know is a spaghetti western is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, that one is.
It is. Oh, yes. Now I know what you mean. Yeah.
It was an Italian movie, actually. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think of it that way.
It's one of the more famous ones.
Right, because the guy was eating spaghetti. Yes, I do remember that one. Yeah, right.
Was there a scene in that where Clint Eastwood's eating spaghetti?
No, not him. The guy that he was coming to see, the bad guy. He was coming, the bad, good, bad, and the ugly guy.
So the ugly guy was sitting there eating like spaghetti and meatballs.
Right, and the bad guy came to meet him.
Was there chicken Alfredo at any point?
It was spaghetti and meatballs.
Spaghetti and meatballs.
And he was eating it. Seriously, it was right. You're right. It was right.
Okay.
I did see that. Yeah.
You know the movie better than me. I don't
remember.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's what happened.
So
exactly what happened.
So the movies, the Western movies in which a character is eating spaghetti is a spaghetti Western.
Right. Oh, I see now. Yeah.
There we go. Now we know how it works.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
That's the way it is. And then Yeah, I'm trying to think what else to say.
What else we gonna say?
Well, do you know who Sharon Tate is, Uncle?
Tate.
Do you remember who she was?
A runner for the presidency?
No, she was an actress. So she was in a few movies back in the 60s, and she was in some Roman Polanski, I think maybe even just Rosemary's Baby, and that's it.
Wait a minute. Yes. Rosemary's Baby.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen something like the same of that.
Yeah.
Something of Rosemary I saw.
So she was in that movie. She had a relationship with Roman Polanski in real life.
Oh, he did? She did?
Yeah, and then this movie was showing that, like, oh, look, they're together, and she got pregnant.
Oh, with him?
By Roman Polanski, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
And then very late into her pregnancy, she was murdered in Roman Polanski's house with 3 other people.
Oh, but then what happened to the baby?
The baby died with her, so I guess you could say it was 5 people. So it was a very horrific event, infamous event in Hollywood history, and the killers were Manson family members. So sort of cult members of that were being led by Charles Manson. Charlie Manson was the leader of this group of youngsters that ended up being the killers that killed Tate and everybody else in Roman Polanski's house.
Oh, man.
So that's what happened in real life. And then this movie is kind of like, it's like a what-if situation. It's like...
so what they did was they made a movie out of that.
Yes, based around that.
Before she died.
That's the main sort of event that this movie is crafted around. Is that
That's what
that
it sounds like it is.
And really, in a sense, Sharon Tate is like the main... I was calling her the focal point. She's not so much the main character in this. Oh. You don't hear as much from her or see her quite as much as like Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio and the rest of them. Oh. But at the same time, she remains the focal point, which is interesting,
Yeah. Well, yeah. I can see that.
And the whole situation of the movie is, it's just asking, well, we know what happened in real life, but what if things happened this way instead? And that's basically what this movie is. Like, well, what if? And it's just like playing around with what if.
Of course, then she would still be alive.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what if. I mean, you're saying what ifs. No, there's your answer right there.
And the kind of the characters of Brad Pitt and DiCaprio were kind of crafted all around this sort of what if situation. It's like, okay, what if next door to Roman Polanski, he lived next to this guy that was in Western TV shows, and like he was also buddies with a stuntman, and they came in and they saved Sharon Tate on that night instead. And that's what actually happened. And so it is like that final scene where the kids come up from the ranch again to kill all of them.
Yeah, right. That's where the scene came from. Mm-hmm. Back to that again. You were saying right.
Yep.
When he was coming up to the scene, saying, "What's making this so damn noise?
Yeah.
Get out of my damn neighborhood. Out of here." And he was going on and talking about this and stuff. And then his next door neighbor got into the conversation with him.
Yeah.
About, what, do you want to have a drink? After all of it's done, of course.
Yeah.
And it said, "Oh, sure." So they all go back into back in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
No, that's what happened.
Yeah, so they're playing around with like, well, what if this had actually happened? And I think that's the reason why this last scene where the Manson family members come up to murder everybody, but they end up getting murdered instead.
Yeah, they get popped in, and it backfired on them. Instead of it's supposed to go the other way around, it went the other way. It went back the other way. Yes, yeah.
So again, what if the Manson family members ended up getting murdered by the neighbors instead of them murdering Sharon Tate and the rest of them?
Whoa.
That's what ends up happening.
Of course, no. But the lady was more interested in the producer that was there.
Oh, Polanski.
Polanski.
But he was away at the time.
No, he was talking to him.
That was the case in real life. You're talking about on the night of the murder?
Night of murder.
Yeah, Polanski was gone.
After he came back and held him out of the state, out of his property. Mm-hmm. He was yelling for him to get out of the property. What do you mean?
You're talking about DiCaprio now. You're talking about his character. Yeah, so he comes out and he's all drunk.
Chemical? Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
anyway,
Yeah.
this
That's what I'm
this
talking about.
scene where they end up killing the Manson family members is very over the top gory, which again Quentin Tarantino can't help himself. It's very over the top gory, very ludicrous in nature, very cartoonish. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio comes out after this woman had been bashed all to crazy and she's bleeding and she's like screaming like a nut, but she's still alive when she wouldn't be in real life. And she's in his pool and he comes out with a flamethrower and tows her with a flamethrower.
Oh, yes, I remember that. Yeah. He comes out with the press phone to say, yeah, does that still work?
Yeah.
Guys, that still work.
Yeah,
He
he tells the neighbor about it afterwards. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I burn her up with a flamethrower. I just had it in the shed left over from this movie I worked on.
Yeah. So he burned him up. And then she was burned as a crisp.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now I know where you're going. Yeah.
So just a
Jumps in the swimming pool.
situation that obviously would never have happened in real life. It was, and
man.
again, I think as a commentary on Hollywood, how Hollywood just makes these fake situations. Well, what if Hollywood was the one that ended up saving Sharon Tate instead of the
Burning
real
you
story?
up?
Yeah, the real story was like you could make the argument that Hollywood was the reason that Sharon Tate ended up dying. What if you reversed that and said, no, Hollywood with its particular devices came in and saved the day instead with a guy with a flamethrower and the Manson family members get all stabbed and bit by a dog a million times
Oh,
over.
yeah, that dog. That's right. I
Yeah.
forgot about it. Yeah, he said,
Yeah.
he went after him. And he, as soon as he gave him that signal, boom.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. Today.
So I don't know. I really like Quentin Tarantino. I like how he plays with these ideas. And he does it in a fashion which is just so over the top and crazy that you could just totally like forget all these ideas and it's still like a crazy movie that you really get into. But then when you sit down and you think about it, like, oh, okay, there's actually a lot going on here, you know?
A lot more than you think. Because when you can look at a show, you think this is going to be an easy checkout show. So here we are talking about it, and boom, look how much we got done just a few minutes ago.
I know. We didn't see this coming, did we?
We did not see it coming, so we can start talking about what we've been listening to, watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I knew a little bit what to expect, but the movie ended up being quite a bit different than what I
thought it would be.
Yeah. I didn't. So again, I was a bit surprised by it, but pleasantly surprised because I thought he did good. I feel like at the end of these Tarantino movies, I really do feel like he gives you a lot to think about, and it's always a commentary on media and on movie making. Usually Quentin Tarantino gives you something to think about filmmaking because he's just so into it. That's what he does.
He's into film. He's into filming. A lot of filming. I mean, there's times when you turn around, he's making another film. He's making another film. Yeah. And it goes on and on.
So, he leaves you with this story that's very much about filmmaking, about Hollywood here, and he gives you all these sorts of things to think about. So, I think I like it. I really enjoy it. I think there's so much going on. Oh, what about Bruce Lee a guy playing Bruce Lee was in the movie. Do you remember that, Uncle?
Bruce? Oh, yeah.
You recall that?
Yes, I do. I remember now. He was gone, and they were testing him, and they were saying, I never die. And this and that, and going back and forth.
Yeah.
But then here comes the late. Oh, and it's okay, we'll do a Doom. Okay, they start doing a Doom. Boom! He flies over, hits the car. Side of the car is ripped out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now. And we're going at it.
Brad Pitt and Bruce Lee end up getting in a little scuffle.
That's it. Mm-hmm. And he said, and then the lady shows up.
Yeah,
and says,
the producer's wife.
And she was a.
She didn't like Brad Pitt.
Didn't like him, and because he warned him. The guy warned him. My wife is terrible.
Yeah, stay away from her because she doesn't like you.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. And so, but what happened was, she saw what happened and said, "What's going on here?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, he got smacked. He wanted some activity, and teared my car up. And then here comes the husband,
Mm-hmm.
and they started in saying, all right, you're fired. And they start walking out the show.
Yeah.
That's what happened there.
Yeah,
That's
Brad Pitt's character is interesting. He's an anti-hero, kind of like very regular guy, sort of like macho man, sort of quiet kind of guy. But he's an interesting character for sure. So I really like the characters, and DiCaprio's character I really love too, as again like where Brad Pitt's like very kind of secure, and he's like self-assured, and nothing really bothers him at all. He just kind of goes about life, and nothing brings him down because he doesn't care. DiCaprio is like the opposite, where he's very insecure, and he's looking for approval from other people, and he's worried about things, and he's kind of manic depressive, So I found that an interesting commentary again on just sort of actors' personalities.
It's his personalities that they have problems with, so he knows what he's doing.
So I enjoy just little stuff like that, and little commentaries on life in California, kind of how I couldn't help but notice Tarantino, I believe this is what he was doing, he's pointing out how neighbors in California won't even talk to each other.
Right.
They'll know so much about each other because they're both like famous in their own right, and just the fact that they are neighbors, they'll like boast to other people like, I'm the neighbor with Roman Polanski, and yet you've never even talked to him.
I noticed on the ranch there was hardly anyone talking to him. I mean, when he was going up to visit his friend.
Yeah, well, yeah, the owner of the ranch had been totally isolated, and nobody had come to check on him except for Brad Pitt finally does. Yeah. This is, you're right, Uncle. This is an extension of the same idea. It's like, how'd this old guy like get left out here to be thrown to these wolves and be taken advantage of, and nobody notices?
Yeah, nobody notices. Where the heck's the owner of this place? And then boom, and then he comes up saying, where is that owner? I want to see that owner before I leave.
I hadn't thought about that until you said that.
Yes, I did. I have to finish complete.
Yeah.
You have to finish a complete story if you're going to do a story.
Yeah, I think that was the idea behind that. And it's like, how could this happen? Well, because we're in California and that's how things work. Nobody talks to each other.
Since you said that, you mentioned that. That's what got me back to it.
Yeah.
You said that.
Mm-hmm.
So
very much the final scene is a play to this idea too. Yeah. The very end of the movie is like is a goof on this, that Californians never talk to their neighbors.
Right. They don't talk. They just go by their own business and stuff like that.
They're all caught up in the superficial reality of Hollywood more than they are the real reality of, hey, I have a neighbor, I should talk to him and be neighbors with him.
Right.
And again, Quentin Tarantino is kind of bringing that idea around and says, well, what if instead of business as usual in Hollywood, that the neighbors kind of saved the day, and it was this neighborly thing that because of the good neighbors being there, the bad crisis was averted,
Right. It could have been if it was the same, if they were talking to neighbors.
Yeah.
More people talk to neighbors, more accidents would happen.
So this was quintessentially Hollywood story.
Right. Correct.
So yeah, I don't know. I really like it. I thought it was good. As you can see here,
of it. Yeah, I did. I liked part of it.
Yeah,
especially the ones with the Playboy stuff. That got my attention.
Well, sure. Yeah. That's one of those scenes you have to.
My attention to.
You have to throw that in there. It's like, this is life in the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah.
So you got to have a scene at the Playboy Mansion. And that era of Hollywood, that there's a big party there, and so
that got my attention real fast. When I said, "Whoa, wait a minute, what are we watching here?"
Yeah, because everybody knows about that. So that immediately establishes, this is the life of the lifestyles of the rich and famous in Hollywood, living in Hollywood, and that's where we are. So the scene is set there without a doubt. And we see again the main focal point of the movie, dancing away there, Sharon Tate. There's a lot going on right there. So yeah, very cool. Yeah, and very believable. It's like you believe the characters are real and all that. So very nice, very good character development and all that.
Great.
So there we go. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Uncle, if you were to rate this movie 1 to 10, where's it come at on the scale of 1 to 10?
A 10.
A 10. Wow.
I'll give it a 10 on that.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, because it had the activity to the stuff and the activity of what people were actually talking about into that activity stuff. So
Got it. Okay, yeah. I think I'll give it a 9. I'll be generous. I want to say
9?
between 8 and 9. It's very good. It's not the best movie I've ever seen, but it's very good. It's very well done.
That's nice.
9. It's very good. Very good. So there we go.
There you go.
All right, so we have a little bit of time left here,
What do we got
Uncle.
time? Oh,
Again, we're not live tonight as we are usual. This is a pre-recorded show.
so here we recorded it, and then you guys can listen.
Yeah, pre-recorded. Anything else you want to talk about here?
What else?
We could keep it pretty short. We'll go here for a few more minutes. We still have a bit of time left in the show. I'm trying to think what else. We don't have that lovely chat room to talk about, unfortunately.
No chat room. I have a chat with.
We did our movie review. We did our football review. The Super Bowl is coming up. Any other events like that coming up in the world that... well, there are the... we were mentioning it's awards season.
Oh, wait, yes. Awards are coming up.
Anything about that?
Yeah, we have the Oscars coming. That's coming on. What is it? Is the Oscars coming Sunday?
I don't even know. Probably. It probably is. Is that what's? Are they playing that along with the football on Sunday?
They might be the next week. It could be the next week.
I feel like it. Yeah, I feel like they wouldn't play that alongside football.
No, they would be next week. I mean, that's the second week. It'll be the next week.
I think that's how it works. But anyway, it's soon.
Soon. It is coming soon, though.
Okay. What movies do you think are going to win?
Oh, the ones you mentioned.
Yeah. Do you think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood might win a couple awards?
That might win a couple.
I think it could.
We know the joke is going to win.
It got nominated I think 11 or 13 times, something like that.
13 times.
It's crazy.
But I've been trying to tell people at work about it, but they think it was a joke.
Really?
I mean, they
a joke, not a joker, but a joke.
A joke. I mean, but hey, you're trying to talk to somebody about it, and then they start acting stupid.
So you bring up the movie at work a lot to people, and you're suggesting that they watch it.
Yeah, well, I try to ask them to.
But then they don't.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's the kind of people, I guess.
They're not big film enthusiasts at work.
I just found that out.
Okay.
I found it out doing the Joker thing.
Well, it's all about the TV series and the web series these days. It's not so much about the movies anymore, Uncle.
It sounds like it. It sounds exactly that.
Things are changing in the media landscape as we speak.
Right.
Hard to keep up.
I'm trying to... Well, I put my finger on something, but it doesn't fall what I wanted to say, so they don't think it's a acting thing. Yeah.
Oh, I have a question for you. Did you watch the already aired award show, the Golden Globes? Did you see that one when that was on? That was on last week, I want to say. Or the week before, maybe.
No, I didn't.
You missed that?
Yeah, I missed it. I was watching something.
There's a big controversy with the host, Ricky Gervais.
Oh, I've heard about
that guy.
Reviews.
Did you hear about all that?
I heard about the reviews of it, but that's it.
In his monologue, he was kind of roasting liberal Hollywood, so to speak. He's roasting celebrities and all that, kind of giving them a hard time. Like, hey, look, he's calling them pedophiles and things like that.
Well, I heard about that. But yelling.
Pretty crazy, huh?
Because I can hear them yelling down the stairs.
Oh, yeah, the women were watching the show.
Watching the show.
I know they saw it.
They saw it.
I didn't watch it.
You didn't see it either?
No, after the fact, just a couple of days ago, I watched Ricky Gervais' monologue on YouTube just because so many people talked about it. And it wasn't that long, actually. It was a short aspect of the show. It was only maybe 8 minutes long. So I watched that and I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of interesting.
Well, yeah, you were cracking up at something back there in the background. I heard you with the talking.
Oh, you mean watching YouTube?
Yeah, watching YouTube. I heard.
It might have been that.
Yeah. You were going crazy.
Yeah, it was definitely funny in parts. Yeah, he was telling some funny jokes, that's for sure. And he was putting again the Hollywood types in their place, which they really
That's where he should go.
They
in their places. He's right on the ball on that, though.
They need to be cut down to size.
Yeah, cut down the size and less time talking about all this kind of stuff.
Because, in the wake of a couple years ago, there was that big controversy with Harvey Weinstein. Or you remember that, right?
Yeah, Weinstein. Yeah,
he was abusing women and all
right.
this.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And then subsequently, it became a big thing in Hollywood and the Me Too movement. And then suddenly everybody was all outraged when previously everybody had known what Weinstein was doing and nobody did or said anything. They were quiet for so long.
Yeah.
So this Ricky Gervais monologue and roasting of Hollywood was basically like a retort to that. Like, hey, look, don't act all highfalutin and like you actually care when for years you're just sitting there and letting all this stuff happen. And you're just basically calling them out on that, which I think is good.
They call them out for a reason.
Yeah.
Calling out all these don't be kind of things going on in Hollywood all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, this is how they get back to the people that does all these crazy things.
Yeah, absolutely. Quentin Tarantino in the wake of Weinstein, I remember some quote from him saying that he really felt terrible that he hadn't done anything. He was one of like the earlier people on saying like he felt horrible that he kind of knew and that he hadn't done anything, that he did harbor quite a bit of guilt for what he did. And I think that was actually genuine. And I do think there are people in Hollywood that genuinely felt terrible about that whole situation and what do you do also, but then there's others that just they could care less, and they're just always, they never really care about anything other than themselves.
Correct. And
so that's
a lot of them here doing that.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot. You better believe that.
I can see even walking down Highway in L.A., they think of the same way as walking down Hollywood Highway. That one where the stands are, or the people are.
Hollywood Boulevard.
Hollywood Boulevard.
Yes.
Is what I'm thinking of.
Correct.
And walking down there, I can see just in their faces, not in their voices, in their faces, I can tell. Yeah. You can really tell that.
Yeah, and typically those awards shows are just so self-aggrandizing. It's so annoying. They get up there and they self-congratulate themselves like, oh, movies are such a great way to inform the public on all these issues. And it's like, meanwhile, they're working with rapists and not doing a thing about it. And they're working in the full knowledge of who they're working with. They don't ever do anything to change it until it just flat out comes out in the public, and then they're forced to act like they actually care.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that too. I've noticed that. That's why these other cases that I see once in a while, it comes in real life.
Yeah.
And some of these.
It does.
I mean, this
so you
is
know
where
what, Hollywood?
It's coming down to.
You know where you can go? You know what we think of you?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the guy up there, I never like him.
Yeah.
You know?
That way. That way. Not to say the word, but that up there. That way.
Yeah. We'll go Al Pacino or Joe Pesci on you. All right? Don't make us do it.
Where is he buried?
I don't know. Where did Joe Pesci hide the bodies?
The bodies, right. that kind of stand.
Yeah, so I don't know. Interesting stuff happening all around us, Uncle. Interesting media popping up all at the same time. Uncle, we're making media as we speak.
All right.
We're doing it.
Well, I finally got media straight to these people. Now, people would understand on the show, would listen to this on Friday, would maybe understand where we're coming from. Mm-hmm. So come this Friday, a recording show will go off the truck, pop it to them, and see what they think and say in the following week. Mm-hmm. And I'll have a response for the following week if we have a show.
You know what we should do, Uncle, is we should pitch to Netflix a series about podcasters.
I was thinking of that.
We could make a series about podcasting.
I think I was thinking of that.
Yeah.
I was really thinking about that. When you came up with that, I was thinking before you said that.
It'd be like what Quentin Tarantino did with filmmaking, we could do with podcasting.
I think I might want to do that.
Yeah.
It got me something to think about. Well, we could do that. Maybe we could start doing that.
Yeah.
Someone maybe next week.
Yeah.
If we want.
We'll have to. I'll have to
set it up.
I have to see if I can get in touch with some Netflix people.
Yeah, Netflix. You work on the Netflix people and see if they want to do deals.
Maybe we can pitch something to them. Wouldn't that be exciting?
Yeah. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, they seems like they greenlight so many things. Why wouldn't they greenlight this?
Well, since we're doing this broadcasting here, they grab this, boom. Mm-hmm. They grab this and put this on the thing.
Yeah, to think of the production we can make with Netflix producing. Uncle.
People ask me, "Are you making money in this?"
No.
no, that's what the people are saying.
Yeah.
Some of them are telling me. No,
that's why we have to go to Netflix. We got to go where the money is, Uncle.
That's what Netflix is?
It's not here as we're doing things now. It's on Netflix.
Oh, it is.
That's what I'm saying.
Where's Netflix coming from?
From Wi-Fi.
Oh.
You get it through Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
So now basically movies are coming out of the Wi-Fi these days. And series.
Oh.
Again, it's all about the series, right? The Netflix series, the streaming series, all this, whatever you call those.
Yeah. Oh.
How about shout-outs? Who are we shouting out to?
Shout out to our regulars. We know who we are.
Shout out to you.
To you guys.
You get that regular shout-out like you always do?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm having trouble thinking of who to shout out here. I'll shout out to Joseph L. Flatley, who we've had on the show before. He has a new podcast series called The So-Called Prophet from Pittsburgh, which I've been listening to, and it's an excellent piece of investigative journalism, excellent podcast series. I suggest everybody go listen to it. Very entertaining, very informative. It's a great work by...
I got to make sure it's on my phone before I can listen. I got to have it on my phone before I can listen to these things.
Okay, so we can have you... So Uncle will subscribe to it. So there we go. There's one extra listener there.
If I can find them.
It's a good series, Uncle. 3 episodes in so far, and yeah, I'm eagerly await each new episode, so it's very good. You'll rifle right through them. You might just binge listen them, what there is of them so far. So there you go, Joseph L. Flatley. We'll have to have him back on the show sometime and have him talk about it.
Yeah, well, when he have a special guest, maybe he'll show up. Guys, got to work on the guest now.
Got to. Yeah, there's a couple of guests I want to invite. There's this AI artificial intelligence expert I want to invite on to my show, and if all things go well, he will stay on to the Uncle show for that too, if he even agrees to do the first show. So fingers crossed that happens. That would be awesome.
We have anything about wrestlers lately? Anybody got in touch with any wrestlers?
I haven't reached out to any. There might be some, like maybe we can find Brutus the Barber Beefcake hiding under a rock somewhere. Yeah, I would like get him on the show.
Get him on the show. I'll be half an hour just talking to him.
Oh yeah, so many things to talk about.
I could talk to him, and you would have a chance to talk. If I got into one of these wrestlers,
so many stories
to talk to them guys about. I can talk to those guys about something.
Okay, so I think this is long enough.
That's it. It's long enough.
I think we've done our due diligence on this pre-recorded broadcast.
I think this is long enough. Yeah.
Premiering live on Ocelli.com, but also available.
Send it off to Chucky, and then you'll listen to it this coming Friday.
Mm-hmm. The podcast. Send it
off there, sidekick.
I will. The podcast is always available on UncleThePodcast.com.
Yeah.
Share this with people. You enjoy the show. Let people know. Tell them it's a fun show. Write up a review on Apple iTunes.
Yeah, but on iTunes, you have there's a show there we had put down there for you to listen to.
Please do that. That would help a lot. Writing up that review.
We'll review that.
And we're on Instagram and Twitter at Uncle Podcast. Engage with us on Twitter. Uncle will like to have a Twitter conversation with you.
Yeah.
In our famous Twitter. I believe, I want to say we're the only ones using Twitter in the way that we do.
Yeah, I haven't heard many other people talk about in the Twitter line. We're only the ones talking about Twitter right now.
There might be somebody else who uses Twitter like us.
Who would that be?
I don't know. I don't know of them, but I want to believe that we're doing something unique in that. And in that, I feel good.
Right.
That we're doing something weird and unusual. And whether it is or is not recognized is okay. We'll keep doing it. If at some point people actually catch on to what it is that we're doing,
then we'll talk.
Oh, it could be a real marketing tool for us, Uncle.
Oh gosh, we may be making this out of money if it comes that far.
Well, that's that. At that point, that's when we go to the Netflix pitch meeting.
Well, we'll have to.
with our podcasting, our series about podcasting and podcasters.
Yeah. I wasn't really thinking about it at the time.
Yeah.
But if it comes to that, possibly.
So many ideas, so many projects that could be done, but so little money and so little time.
Right.
That's the way of things.
Right.
So you can help out the audience by just letting interesting people out in the world know that we exist, because nobody does.
Nobody does.
Except for you.
Yep.
You are our salvation.
So you call out and let them listen.
Uncle the Street Cream.
Street cream, street class.
It's our way out of the streets, Uncle.
On the street cream.
How ironic.
Here we go with the street cream.
Our-
Hey, street cream. Hey, street cream.
Our only way out of the digital streets is via Uncle the Street Team.
Street team. The street team.
So this is a real grassroots movement here in creating media. Believe us, we have potential. We can do things. We're doing things now.
Yeah.
It's limited in scope, but given the right resources, trust me, I know that I've got a lot going on in terms of ideas that could be done. But again, it just comes down to, does any of it need to be done, Uncle? I don't know if anybody wants to hear any of this. Maybe they don't.
It's the ones that listen will, but not if the other ones that do not listen won't. It's just on that.
It comes down to, it's that simple.
That's simple.
Okay, Uncle, that's the end of the show.
End of the show.
Bring us home.
Bye-bye.